But who they going to go against Roman Reigns after Brock Lesnar?
Well, supposedly they called an audible, supposedly on the pay-per-view on Sunday, and someone gave word to Bobby Lashley to grab a belt from a fan in the audience, one of those replica belts, and parade around it in the ring. Then the commentary team played it up like, well, setting him up to be the next challenger. And then when Roman defeats him, then who's next?
Yeah, but I just never thought Lashley had the magic. I mean, he's been there for, how long has he been there? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, he started there in like 2006, was there for a few years, and left MMA and then TNA for a while, and he's been there another 4 or 5 years, probably easily.
Yeah. Great body. See, I don't follow Raw. That's just too much to ask. I just can't do it. But I watch SmackDown, and watching SmackDown, I sit there and I go, God, please. You can almost predict who's coming up next. And because they don't bury it very much. They have stopped the in rings with Roman so much because he's not there. But I mean, it's just, you can tell when they're going to break. You can tell this. I mean, it's too predictable. See, that's what I like about AEW. AEW, you really don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen on that show, and you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you'd enjoy it. But with SmackDown, when they do something different, you notice it right off the bat. But I do notice the lack of bench strength on heels and baby faces, because I don't know. It's like a baseball team. You know, if you got starting pitchers, they pitch every third game or fourth game, and then you got your pitchers that's not as good as the starter.
Yeah, the relief pitcher.
You have starting pitchers. I think you have 4 of those. I don't know. But then you have your relief pitchers. They're only good for an inning or maybe 2 innings. Then they get blowed out. But WWE, they don't have, if you look at their bench, the only one they got, you'd have to really stretch your imagination to think, who is going to challenge Roman Reigns next? Well, you got McIntyre and but after that, what? You have, I don't know.
I'd like to pick up on something you said before then. You said Bobby Lashley never had the magic. Now, you were not with him in WWE, I don't think, but you were in TNA, or were you, in fact? When did he come into TNA?
Sometime
when
I was there.
Bobby Lashley never had the magic. What was obviously physically nothing. Just the interviews, just his manner, just the way he carried himself.
Well, I never felt the connection to the people, to the fans. The fans make stars. Let's take Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes didn't know a wristwatch from a wrist lock, but the fans loved him to death. Like handsome Jimmy Valiant. He couldn't wrestle his way out of a paper bag, but nobody cared because they liked Jimmy. They liked him because, hey, brother, hey, Big Daddy. And he danced to the ring, and that was his match. He'd dance to the ring for 2 minutes and then get in the ring and bump his knees together, and people going nuts. Then they start the match. The match go 2 minutes, and then he danced his way out back to the other side, and that was his match. And the people were happy with that because they connected with Handsome Jimmy. They connected to Dusty Rhodes. They connected to Hulk Hogan or Roddy Piper or Steve Austin or The Rock. See, that's what I'm talking about. That chemistry there with Lashley, nothing with his body or his work. His connectability, I call it, to the fans is lacking. And I don't think he can make that up. That's why they put the manager with him to talk for him, because I think if he was trying to talk for himself, I think he'd do more harm than good. And I like Bobby. I wish him a lot of success, but some guys have that magic and some guys don't.
Are you saying that a few weeks in Vince McMahon's promo class would would not sort that out?
No, it wouldn't. It's almost like you can either talk or you can't talk, period. I mean, that was AJ Styles' big drawback till somebody had the idea, let's give him some, let's coach him. Now he's not bad. He can kind of deliver a promo now. But before, and that's why they need writers, because writers can help these guys in this. But if you take a guy like Dusty, or you take a guy like Hart, they don't say nothing anyway. Or, Roddy, Piper, those guys can talk. So the best thing a writer can do then is get out of the way, because a writer gets in the way. And you can you imagine a writer going up to Stone Cold and said, "Here's your interview." Get the hell out of here. And he just stunned him right there. You can't do that, because he got over on his own. And I guess they gave him a few, I don't know, tidbits to hit. Say this and this and this. But the rest of it was all Stone Cold. Now, see, that's magic. And let me give you the prime example of magic was Vince McMahon and Steve Austin. You saw at WrestleMania, they just got in the ring together, and here come the people. That's 20 years later, and it still hasn't died, because they just had magic. And Vince played his role perfect. Austin played his role perfect, and the people bought it, and they made a ton of money off that. And you can't manufacture that. You can't make it. You can't manufacture it. That's why I call it magic, because magic happens. And when you have that magic and it comes to you in a bottle like that, it can easily evaporate, but they didn't let it evaporate. They made strong use of it. And and that surprised me, because I knew when they come face to face, if they did, the place was going to erupt.